Today, I have the pleasure to talk to Sandeep Mehra. And Sandeep, you are the Vice President and General Manager for Webex devices and for Telepresence at Cisco Systems. And I love your background. I don't know if you're really in this nice location or whether you use technology to give you a great feeling where you are right now.
That was absolutely a good catch, Ronald. So what you are seeing isn't a real background. It's one I can change. In fact, let me show you. I have a whole bunch of backgrounds at my fingertips. For example, now if I want to seem like I'm in my backyard, or well, this is even better given that it's Thursday evening. But the reason we are seeing a tremendous adoption of elements and experiences like this is that as we have seen the whole explosion and move to work from anywhere, work from home, there's been a need for users, whether it's large enterprises, medium enterprises, small businesses, governments, everybody who wants to work in a very safe, secure way. Also, they want to have a very high quality, high fidelity experience. Now, in the midst of all of this, we're also working in a scenario where we may have kids working in the background, playing with some toys. You may have interruptions. So how does all of that happen very seamlessly? And these are some of the experiences which help in actually giving a very safe, secure, and good way that you can communicate that you're still driving all those productivity elements and getting things done. So when you think about all of these scenarios too, high fidelity audio for a meeting is such an important part of that of driving an outcome, and particularly true when you think about people who are now like you and I. I mean, it isn't that we're doing 30-minute meetings any longer. We're doing our entire day in this sort of way, right? So you need a high fidelity video experience, audio experience, and something which is really simple and drives magic throughout the way you get things done.
Definitely. It brings also some challenges from the Chief Information Security Officer to keep control of the security. What do you see that CISOs, what kind of priorities do they define? What do they address?
I think that is so spot on. In fact, we've seen so many different trends, and now speaking to customers, we're beginning to understand very clearly that some of the things that they did just post COVID, where um, they got their teams very quickly to move back and use a variety of tools, a lot of times that's causing challenges. Now, we at Webex have invested very heavily in providing a global platform, in resiliency through our platform, so that customers are able to really have business continuity throughout this entire process. And if you look at our platform, that's one of the reasons why we've seen unprecedented demand. That we went from, uh, in April, we had 500 million participants and they generated over 25 billion minutes. That was typically triple of what we did just in January, right? And what that's meant is every CIO and CISO actually wants to make sure that they're able to provide a single but very manageable, secure collaboration experience end to end across the platform. And again, that's a key part of how Webex has been part of that journey for our customers, whether it's large enterprise customers, our government customers, mid-market customers, or small businesses. They all see this as a critical piece of how they win in this work from home or work from anywhere.
Yeah, and it's also new for managers. Managers still need to keep the performance, keep control. At least they need to keep some sense of control. Can you share some examples how it helps managers and how they keep the performance going very well?
So if you think about, when you let's go back in time, right? And one of the big challenges of working from anywhere was how do you have actionable intelligence of productivity? And hence, there was always a concern that, you know, is work from home something that works? I think that paradigm has changed very quickly, right? Now comes to the part about, is there control? Is there actionable insight around the collaboration workloads? And are you able to then connect the dots in terms of ROI and productivity? And so Cisco, again, here has spent very significant time, effort in creating a framework through our control hub. It's actually a single pane of glass through which a business leader, an IT leader, or any leader is able to get complete insight of everything in terms of his or her team on productivity, what is being used, how is it being most intelligently sort of adapted, and what are some of the outcomes. And this is helping then drive tremendous outcomes and ROI for CIOs, the IT organization, as well as the workplace itself. And let me give you some examples, some of the things that we are now beginning to actually drive as part of this. Um, let's think about the journey back to office. And there's many IT leaders who are very concerned. One, am I driving a level of productivity from home? Second, as I make that transition to office, is it very seamless? And third, when I get into office, how do I as an employee, or how do employees actually interact? And is there a way for me to get very clear, actionable data on um, things about safety, right? So we built many of these very critical pieces as part of our control hub and our frameworks. So as an example, instead of typically somebody walking into a space and having to touch, here you're able to now, by means of voice, actually start and have multiple actions. So I can start a meeting, I can schedule a particular call, or so on.
Yeah, and I think it can really help in the office. One other domain that we see where it really helps is, I think, in the healthcare industry, where you have many people in countries where they are afraid to go to the doctor to become infected, and they still want to go to the doctor because they still want to have this advice. So what kind of use cases do you see in telehealth?
I'd say that, again, it's heartening to see how we're seeing tremendous adoption of this new paradigm, telehealth, across the globe. And so, the scenarios that we're seeing is that very easily, with the advent of having simplicity and having these devices available at scale, I, as a doctor now, can operate from my home without having to go through a very complex process. I have a dedicated device. I don't, as a doctor, have fatigue in terms of sitting hours at end and having a video call with somebody. On the flip side, for a user, it's super easy, where it could be a device, it could be a laptop, or it could be through my mobile phone. I'm able to very seamlessly connect. And what we've then also done is certain unique integrations through frameworks or platforms like Epic, giving patients a super simple, easy way to join, highly secure, and also make sure that the doctors have all of that information very seamlessly at their fingertips, particularly about health data that they need while making a consultation. So what I'm trying to make is, this is a industry that we're seeing tremendous adoption across the board, all the way from patient as well as in administration. And in fact, I do want to also add that we're very proud that many of our devices that we make, particularly the DX80, when we moved back from, or when we made that big shift of working from home during the COVID period, many of our devices, which were in the office, in Cisco, we took it upon ourselves to actually take those devices, put them through a cleaning process, and those devices now are in hundreds of hospitals across different parts of the globe.
Sandeep, thanks a lot for joining our show and sharing your learnings, your new technology, which is great. And for the audience, thank you for watching, and looking forward to see you next time.
Thank you so much, Ron. Take care.